All right, so Cory Booker has yielded the floor after his historic and record-breaking filibuster. He has broken Strom Thurmond's record, which was one of his stated objectives. And now we're here to weigh in on what we saw. We saw a lot over the last, 24 hours. A lot of different friends came in and colleagues to help. Schumer, of course, Amy Klobuchar came in to ask questions, to give him a few breaks here and there. What was your reaction? What was your
Well, I
reaction?
like it too. It was absolutely pure political theater. And the question is, will it energize any of the base that we need to energize? But they didn't deal with some of the direct problems. The 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 biggest problem in the room of this last election was we got ripped off by gerrymandering and the Vigilante Inc. Technique of challenging votes and disallowing certain people with like long-standing voting rights, and these were challenged, and they diminished, the count up around 450 million votes. So these are huge. That's a huge deal, and so if we don't deal with that issue, we're not going to be really getting to the root of the problem. So now we're dealing with the fallout of allowing these people to get this far into our government, and now having to exterminate them is going to be almost impossible. That's what
Right.
I think. So,
So what do you think is the root of the problem that wasn't totally fleshed out today?
well, we didn't really count all the votes. Okay, so if we don't do this thing, this one small thing, and count everybody's vote and get a really accurate election results based on what the people really want, then why they still haven't answered the question is why should you still vote if your thing is going to be challenged as a woman, as a female, as a Democrat, you know that's all you have to do is just challenge your vote. You won't even know that it's challenged. You just go ahead and vote, and your stuff won't even be counted. You see, this is what
Right.
happened. And so none of us really know, because this is like, again, it's like the thing where you just don't tell, you tell everybody a little bit of something, but you don't tell them the whole story, and everybody thinks somebody else is doing something else. It's just so well orchestrated. So this is what's going on. This is where we really are angry with our Congress and our senators and our Democrats, is that they're not playing fire with fire. They're playing being polite with thugs, and you just can't win with that tactic, unfortunately.
Right, right, right. So what do you think about the state of democracy in America today, as talking about election fraud and voting, and actually, the citizens actually getting into office, the people that they think they're getting into
Okay.
office?
Well, here's the thing. So, our good friend Cory Booker eloquently laid out all of the problems that we are having to deal with for the fact that these people were allowed to steal this election.
Right.
Again, with not one hand raised to recount the vote or follow that path or even imagine that Kamala Harris actually won. So that is pretty much giving away the whole thing. This is what happened in 9/11. They just
Mm-hmm.
automatically went along with the idea that it was some like crazy, cave people with no like
Right.
experience, like flying planes. There was no planes. There was bombs. There's nothing there. There's no there. When you look at the evidence in the cold plane of day of light, in the cold plane in
Right.
the light of day, okay, it takes thermite, it takes months and months of planning to make this thing happen. None of this stuff happened the way we were told.
Right.
Okay. And then Gore, again, then Clinton and Gore, the whole thing, Clinton was pretty much one of them anyway. He was doing deals. Nothing for the people. It was all backroom deals, okay?
Right.
And
Backroom
so Cory
deals.
Booker, honest to God, Cory Booker's from Newark, New Jersey. Do you know anything about Newark, New Jersey?
A little bit.
Well,
The
that's exactly
crime.
where you're supposed to know. But it is one of the
Yeah.
most rough and tumble, corrupt towns in the most rough and tumble, corrupt states in the country. Okay? Nothing gets done in New Jersey without everybody getting paid and bought and paid and everything. That's why Trump was able to go in there and get that Atlantic City deal. Okay, it's just
Right.
ah. So he's talking. Everybody's talking now both sides of their mouth, and so this is never going to work. If as long as we try to keep up the big farce, then we're not going to get anywhere. So all this thing was really for nothing, and that's where I mean, I'd love to say that there was a better result, that we got what we wanted, that this is really the turn of the new thing. But what you see is just whitewashing, and really, it seems like standardizing. We're making this thing seem like normalizing this complete insanity. But again, until we get a clean and fair election, nothing's going to happen.
Right. What do you think about Trump talking about now running for a third term, that there are,
Okay, it shouldn't
yeah,
even be considered. Like none of this should have been considered. He should not even be He should not be a president right now. He was absolutely, guilty of all those things against this country. So I mean, letting him run was an affront to our Constitution. You see, you got to go over there to her name is Dennison, right? What's her name?
I think so, yeah.
That's Jessica Denson has been
Her
doing
too.
work. I mean, relentlessly on a daily basis, been vlogging out and vlogging all of these, issues about underrepresentation, representing the vote. But you know, so we're just going to keep screaming, and that's the point. So keep screaming. It's not good. It's not been better, but this is the beginning of it. Now, this is what democracy looks like, but it's not going to. It really didn't do anything. Did not do anything. It's a
So
stunt.
do you think, because some people were predicting that during this day, this 25 hours, and then possibly tomorrow in the aftermath, that this would inspire, I think one of the co-senators said something about, I think it was Senator Klobuchar said to Senator Booker, you are the alarm clock, and you are waking us up. And so the hope was that this would be a springboard for citizens to come together and to push, and also for senators and representatives to come together and to really get us to the next level. So you said, like, it really doesn't change anything, and I think that's true, except if we choose to leverage it.
But every one of those things can be picked apart. Every one of these things, like watching Schumer go on about now, he looks just like a bad actor. I mean, these
So
guys are
what
all just bad actors. They're not really. I mean, and they can say what they want, but and Cory has results. The results are a good looking city of Newark. It's cleaned up. He finally got to
Right,
be able to clean it up, but that doesn't really get down to the root cause, right? The root cause is a place to sleep tonight,
right,
food and water, clean water in the city of Newark. What makes sense is that there's clean water, there's good jobs, there's something to do that can help out the city of Newark for the benefit of the city of Newark. I mean, if people are involved with the triple bottom line, they're going to get three things back for every dollar they spend. That's what they're talking about with the Head Start. All these programs that have been dismantled should be talked to about the fact that for every dollar we spend on these programs, we get the benefit of four, three, four, and $5 back. That's why hasn't that been the primary argument from the very beginning? Like, why would we cut these investments in our future for the benefit of a few people to get more rich? And that's not what they're told. I mean, I'm telling you this, and it seems to make sense, but they're not telling you this, and it makes no sense that they're not telling you this. Hey, Elena, how are you? Right? Tell me about this. Come on, Renee, get in.
yeah. So Alana said he completely turned Newark around. Yeah, we were just talking about that absolutely right before you came in, Alana. Absolutely turned it around. And Yeah, hating on minorities tends to be the American way, or at least That's what I'm noticing. That's what Cory talked about. Cory spent about, or Senator
No, no,
Booker.
no, 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 no. Wait a second. That's not the American way. Hating on anybody is not the American way.
I
We
know
don't
it's
do
not
hate.
supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, but we inherited we inherited
No, we
that.
didn't. No, no, we're not doing any
Okay,
of
all
that stuff.
right.
None of that stuff is going to
You
fit
don't
for us. I
accept
mean,
that. Okay. Yeah.
that's what he said the whole time. You weren't listening. I mean,
I
he's
was
like, we are
listening.
not that
Okay.
kind of people.
I know. So Senator Booker, and I agree with that. So we talked earlier about him reaching across the aisle. He certainly is somebody who's a humble person. He wants to get everyone involved. He talked a lot to the Republicans today. He said we just need four Republicans, just four Republicans to turn this around.
We're going to
And
lose some seats, okay? We're going to gain some seats in the
yeah,
House. We're going to have this election. This election will hopefully be the turning point.
right,
Now,
yeah.
what we do with it has always been the key because we've had, some types of some majorities, and we fumble and play with the ball ourselves. We don't get any of the big things covered, but we also had been stonewalled and blocked by Republicans in every turn, and they, literally said no to everything we could possibly do. I mean, it started out back in the 60s when they pretty much put the hit, on this, they gave Johnson a few things to quell the people, to shut us up. But they've been going after that ever since, okay? Social Security, welfare, you know, assistance in any way at all. We're supposed to just, fend for ourselves, all go to hell. And what they said is if you get sick, die quickly. That's the Republican health plan. If you get sick, you die quickly. Don't, they'll take every dollar from you on the way out.
We had
We
a
got to go back into
self-proclaimed.
the 80s, okay? This was on the floor. The first guy to bring cards to the floor was a guy, I can't remember his name. Oh, man. And he said he was a great orator down there. And he said, that's the thing. Oh, I'm going to find out what this, it's going to come to me. He was great. Speaking up all against the Reaganites and all those Trumpies and all that crap, man. Before the, oh man, back in the day, Rush Limbaugh, these guys have been going on about this stuff for years. This is finally it. So we have to put a foot down. We all have to work together. This is not the country we want to live in. That's it. So we don't, we thank him, but we think, come on, you didn't go far enough again. You know, I mean, this is a stunt. The AOC thing is a stunt. It's all stunt work, and so we'll find out if stunts can make something good come of it. Because I think underlying there is this desire to get the best. I mean, I don't know. In my humble opinion, it's for us. It's the law of the universe to provide every living thing with everything they need to live. This is what the planet does for free. It provides everything we need to live on planet Earth. Okay, if we share, there is even way more than that. So, and that's the Sermon on the Mount and all this other hoo ha. Okay, this is the now we're finding out that this is the revelation coming from Hathor in the plains of Giza. The understanding that we were part of this Mother Earth, that we are part of the Earth, and the cycle goes from birth to back to rebirth. Okay, life is from birth to rebirth, and that is the big understanding and puts us all in the same perspective. So whatever's going on, just remember you have what it is to be Trace Magistus. So let's stay with that. We're almost at 15 minutes. I think we're good. What do you
Wait,
got?
wait,
One more
wait. I,
thing?
I want to say, I want to say something because Alana said something that I think taps into what a lot of Americans, including myself, is wondering, and I want to get your take. She said, although in the past all great empires have fallen, maybe we're there. I think that a lot of Americans have had that thought in the last year, 2 years. Are we there? Do you think? Do you think that
Well, I
the
mean,
great
okay,
empire
things are
has
going.
fallen?
Yes. Well, everything is working on a cycle. Okay, and ups and downs are part of the cycle. Okay, evidently we're getting, we're having this whole thing destroyed so that we can come back with a new way of doing it. Now, remember, the most successful civilizations are not talked about because they don't fit the narrative. down into South America, people were working together to build those great monuments. In North America, they were working together to build the great monuments here. Many of the mountains we think are mountains are actually man made or human being made stuff. So it's my feeling that there was these five things were working perfectly here in North and South America to a large degree. And I'm not going to get into details of how religion and suicide and all that kind of thing, but for the most part, what we understand is there was a feeling of abundance. There was an era here for maybe as long as 5,000 years where there was plenty for everyone. And if your integrity was intact, you could live a happy, long, and joyous life with as little conflict as possible. But, you know, those big things, that's what we're trying to get to again. So once we understand that the fighting is, this is the story of North America and the seven native tribes. I mean, once we realized that fighting was futile, we just had to work together, and there was going to be plenty for everyone. And then, sure enough, when the folks from Spain showed up, there were many cultures right there in Tampa, Florida. There was a culture that never had to work or do anything. They had so much food just coming right to them. All you had to do is go fishing. The weather is such that all you had to do is stay in trees and huts and stay naked most of the time. Okay, the weather was different because the poles were in a different place and so forth. So there was a lot more consistency then. All right. North America entirely had plenty. I mean, Mississippi, there was food for everyone. The huge numbers of people living together, not killing each other. Okay. No disease, just plenty. Clean water in every stream, food on every tree, women, everything. Once those monuments were built, there was really nothing to do but sit back and enjoy it. So, can you even imagine such a thing? But this is what happens in the cycle. So we're going to find this again. Now, some of us are finding it within each other, and some of us are going to find it as collective. But mostly these days, it's every man for themselves, every woman for yourself. Find your inside peace. And that starts with love and forgiveness. And it sounds so frivolous, but it's not. It's very difficult. Start with frivolity. Love yourself. Forgive yourself for not being who you want to be. Or forgive them for not being who you want them to be. Right? So forgiveness and love are the key. And then after that, things fall into place. If you're in a place of starvation, I so apologize. I just wish I could help. If there was a place of clean water, I can. There are ways we can work on it, and then energy and so forth. So, all right, what do you think? Time to wrap up.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So I love that. I just wanted to get to obviously Alana said kind of what you were saying there. The planet is on fire. It's easier to be kind when all your needs are met. So that's what you were responding to there. And then we have Nancy on TikTok who said she voted for Trump and now has lost all of her benefits. She doesn't know how to feel but betrayed. I mean a lot of Republicans are starting to say, "Hey, we got this guy into office and I don't know. I don't know what to say. What do you say to people who I
Well, if you're
feel
going to
like he was
vote,
pretty
vote.
clear.
Why not try Democratic? It was fine before. I don't know. Everybody lost their mind. We were moving really close. If we had Hillary had a vision of inclusion. That was ugly for you people. You didn't like that. I mean, I don't understand. What more did you want? Al Gore had a vision for inclusion. Okay, and of course, Kamala has a vision for inclusion. Okay, the Democratic Party has a vision for inclusion. Why would we have this vision for inclusion? Why do you think we would want to include? Why do we want to have equity, inclusion, and benefits? Why do you think, Renee?
Why would we want to have benefits and inclusion?
Why do we want to have, you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Well, I'll tell you why I want it. the reason why I want it is because I'm kind of selfish and I would like to have the best people in the best positions. And when you are ousting and preventing the people who are best at their jobs from doing their jobs just because you want to have the same white heterosexual males that were sort of from nepotism allowed into a system even though they didn't merit it. So people are, I hear people saying DEI means didn't earn it. And I think, what do you think was going on for 200 years when there were all these extremely competent workers who were blocked? DEI to me means literally just getting, like, I want a doctor who's operating on me who's the best, even if he's not a white heterosexual male, you know?
That's right. We want the best person for the job. We don't care about what the
Right.
color they are or whatever.
Right.
So and that's where we were on. We were on this idea that, well, no one has even talked about it. It was just like everybody gets a place on, if based on merit and based on doing a good job, you get to rise to the level that you can. I mean, you have to work with the best possible people. It has no idea about color or anything. I have no idea
Right, and
what
Alana
that's all
Alana said
about.
this is yeah, Alana says this is what I almost died for in the 90s. Exactly. So, we have to get to a point. It's exactly the opposite of what the opponents of DEI are saying. They're saying, "Oh, didn't earn it, didn't earn it." I'm like, "Who do you think was running this country and getting all of the jobs through nepotism and discrimination for centuries?" Yeah, but Alana said we fought, we battled, and we're here. That's a positive note. Thank you. Both of you are in a positive place. And I like what you said to Republicans who might have been backing Trump and MAGA and now are losing their jobs, losing their health
Oh, wait a
benefits.
second. See, there's no back. There's no. Okay, we're all in this together.
That's what Cory Booker said.
Alana, Elena,
That's what Cory Booker said.
it's
Yeah.
Elena. Well, I mean, it's a law. Okay, the first law of the universe is that we're all in this together. And this is all a mental universe. So we're in this mental construct with each other. We're trying to find the best. I mean, first you have to find your way to the door of enlightenment. And then once you do, you have to help other people find it there too. And if you don't know the difference, then you're continue on the journey. But when you do know the difference, you know the difference when you know the difference. I can't really explain it to you, but there's plenty for everyone, and it's not just for me or you, or it's for everything. Not and just people. Do you ever think about other living things that are involved with these conflicts? The little black cat, the little dog, the little squirrel, the little butterfly. What the fuck, man? Like, what about them? Does that have no importance, whatever? We could spend an hour talking about the value of every life form. But you don't want to give a person an abortion who needs it in order to save her life. You will. It's crazy. But being crazy and saying that is what you want me to say. So I guess it must be normal for you to be this way. And I know there's a better way. So do you. I'll see you there next time on One Whole Earth Spaceship. Spaceship One Whole Earth. We're all in this together, and there's plenty for everyone. See you next time.